Hosted in conjunction with Chris Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi and welcome to another crisp Q&A. Today I'm joined with the CEO of Wych, Dermot Butterfield. Thank you for joining me, Dermot.
Thanks for having me, Sydney.
Dermot, look, just to get started, to set us on the correct course today, do you mind giving us a bit of an executive summary about your venture?
Yeah, Wych is a data platform for personal financial management. We like to see that as GPS for personal finances that allows you to see where you are, work out where you're going, and then we help to get you there. And we do that in a data managed way, which allows us to deliver a white label service to service providers like banks or mortgage providers, loan providers, buy now, pay later services, as well as our own direct to market offering.
Excellent. So there's a bit to unpackage there. So let's talk about what you saw in the market as a problem and what spurred the motivation to actually build this venture to give us a better understanding.
Well, for a start, money is stressful for people. They have a lot of decisions to make, but not a lot of time to make them in. People are afraid of making mistakes because you can only spend $1 once. And so they get a bit of decision paralysis. And that doesn't matter whether you're buying a phone, a TV, or a tin of beans. It's all down to the price of pieces and the opportunity to make a decision. And we kind of help with those pieces by helping people understand what they have and when they have it. And that allows us to, for example, compare the price of mortgages on the market or how you're doing on your journey towards savings, whatever your goal is. And we're a goal-oriented service. So the idea is identifying what outcome a person wants and then helping them make their way to that destination.
And that gamifying aspect of the business there, Dermot, have you seen, obviously that's something that you would have noticed work in the market previously, or maybe you've seen it across other markets. And have you noticed that people are resonating well with that so far? And have you seen them actually show some results, whether it be a trial user or an actual user? And if you could walk us through that journey so we can see that.
Well, look, if you say iterations of this have occurred before, in the early days, it was about informing people of their state. And that was the old world of showing up your transactions, right? And then the next iteration of that came about advising people. And that's the thing you would have seen that used to nag you about a coffee when you bought it. You bought your coffee and then you got a ping on your phone to say you just made a purchase. Those were the previous iterations, and they showed that people were interested in seeing the outcome, but were plagued by guilt of the process of getting there. And so that's what we built upon as a way of identifying those things that resonated with people and then said, how can we remove that guilt? And so by changing the outcome to it doesn't matter if you bought the coffee, how that impacts your savings goal is a thing that has resonated. And when I give an example, I usually use my own case, which was the very first iteration of the app we put out there. Many moons ago, I became a father of twin girls. My wife took the first year off. I took the second year off. And during that time, we were a single income family. And what we found was things kept getting a little bit tighter. The bigger the girls got, the more we had to purchase. And at the time, we were saying, how do we use what we have better? And thankfully, these are the skills that I have. So I sat down and I pulled together all of the capabilities I had and the data available. And I was able to identify $1,200 worth of savings. And that put a big smile on my face. And I thought, this is a real example of how we can scale what Wych is and deliver that capability to people in the market. And that's the kind of thing I think is really important right now with rising inflation. Interest rates are going up, causing mortgage stress, and these kind of pieces. It's a perfect opportunity for us to be able to deliver this capability.
Correct. People want to be astute managers of their wealth, and this is obviously a tool to assist them with that. What makes your solution competitive in the market, Dermot. Can you talk to us a bit more about that, the difference it has, or what makes it unique?
If we talk about those three steps I mentioned earlier, it's inform, advise, do. So inform, that's been around for a while. Advise has been there in some iterations. These generally tend to be that nagging. Well, we're about taking that advice and executing on it. That's the automation. That's the do. So I'm not just about telling you should save. We're about actually performing that saving for you. And the way we look at that is we predict your electricity bill will be $200. It comes in at $180. Well, then we can automate the saving of that $20. So your goal occurs automatically, as we like to put it. So those kind of pieces essentially help people do their savings, pay off their credit card, or maybe pay down their mortgage faster.
Excellent, excellent. So in summary there, you've got the alert, which is the information source, and then you have the actionable insights, and then you have the actual actions taking place. So there's that autonomous nature.
Yeah, and that built together means that we remove the stress of the day-to-day interactions of somebody's financial life. And we all start that by having this way of learning about how the customer behaves. Traditionally, these services required the user to log in and input all their data and tap buttons every day to kind of train the system. Whereas we're the other way around. We augment the system to operate on behalf of the customer. So we learn how you operate, and then we work to your pace. And so you don't have to put in all of your information, spend 6 weeks getting it right, and then spend another day a week trying to keep it up to date. We learn about you, and then we use that to help you make better decisions.
Excellent. Dermot, can you tell us about some highlights on your journey with this venture, some key milestones that which has hit to date that may even allude to future success?
Yeah, well, look, we are an accredited data recipient under the Australian CDR standard. So we have our first product approved by the ACCC, which is a fantastic space to be in. That allows us to do two things. First of all, deliver our own product to market, which is the consumer app, but also enable third parties' consumer APIs to deliver their services. And that's really where some of the growth and the smarts come in. That's the mortgage brokers who are looking to make better decisions and help their customers make better decisions about their finance, as well as bank partners.
I mean, that's obviously, so continue, sorry.
Yeah, and that's the Australian market alone. If you think, we also have done a similar thing in the New Zealand market, which gives us kind of a unique ability to be able to cater to those trans-Tasman businesses who are looking to deliver a unified service to their customers. Think of large enterprises that want to have a single service to manage customers on both sides. We're able to do that for them, which is quite unique.
Absolutely. And it sounds like the foundations have been laid for some good growth here and some scaling of this venture. So let's talk about the team, which is the most important factor when it comes to scaling and growing as a business. What do they bring to the table? What expertise and skill sets are they going to contribute as you become a bigger business?
Yeah, no problem. Look, well, I have been in the technology sector for the best part of 20 years. I have been working in enterprises such as banks and government, as well as small to medium companies and a fair few startups. And I've helped bring them along the journey, including as a chief architect taking a business dashboarding company to IPO. And those pieces allowed us to learn the best approaches from a technology and business outcomes and package them up in the form of what is Wych. And with me, we have Amy as our head of comms and marketing. She's fantastic at keeping us on brand, which is always important, but also being there with the timely responses. So our ability to communicate with customers has been greatly improved since Amy joined us, which is fantastic. And then we've got Alan Coster-Smith. He's our lead engineer. I've worked with Alan for a fair amount of time now, and what we do is we work really well together. So he has an inordinate ability to deliver on technical goals, and to do that with an insight and accuracy, which allows us to really accelerate. It's what's enabled us to be able to build for the Australian market, the New Zealand market, but also the European market off a platform based with such a small team.
So you've got the team, you've got the technology, and the idea is obviously fundamentally healthy. So where are we going to see Which go over the next 6 to 12 months? What's your outlook and what milestones are you anticipating, Dermot, that we as spectators in the venture capital space can watch?
Well, we've signed and launched our first partner product, which is fantastic. We have a 3-year deal, and we're currently working through a number of those with different providers in Australia and New Zealand. And so we're talking with banks and mortgage brokers and self-managed super fund to help them deliver insights to their customers. Because our model is subscription-based, every customer that comes on the platform not only makes the platform smarter, but each one of those is a paying customer. So we scale very quickly and our revenue jumps as we do that, which is quite exciting. It allows us to invest heavily in the company.
Very exciting stuff, Dermot. And look, congratulations on everything that's been achieved to date, and we obviously would love to keep tabs on Which and see where you guys go over the next year, and especially in this market. And you know, this is where market giants are made in these times, and those who survive often do thrive. So Dermot, really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me today. And just for anybody who would like to reach out to Dermot or a member of the team, we will have access to their deal room on the side of this screen, as well as in the description of the video. Dermot, thank you again for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Take care.